I got a high from New York, New York. And you know I'm all about big chips, cause baby, I'm from New York, New York.
Now, I'm from the West Coast, but my next guest I'm going to bring on shortly, he from New York. Yes, he is. And we're going to talk to him shortly, talking about some gaming news and some other things out there that we should be aware of. I'm also going to get his take on E3. He and I was out there together. We actually sat by each other at the Microsoft Xbox one, so we're going to chit-chat about that. But, you know, the news that we talked about in our first segment of the show about how Samsung S7, how that phone is really bringing in a lot of revenue for Samsung, you know, because Samsung was treading water there for a little while, especially with iPhone and the iPhone 6S. And then when the 7 came out, it just kind of changed the world. Yes, it did. So we'll talk about more of that on another show. We'll get a telephone expert, I said TV expert, television expert on to talk about that. But right now, joining me, my man, he's known as the Dominican Dominator, master of geek arts. He's a freelance writer. He's done things for Geek.com, PC Magazine. Talking about my man, Tony Polanco in the house. What's going on? Tony, how you doing, man?
Hey, Paul, what's going on? What's going on, people? So happy to be on, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, happy to have you. And also, he's the host of the Throwdown Show on YouTube, man. You guys have a lot of fun there, man, on that show.
We get a little crazy on Throwdown, you know?
Yeah, and Tony promised me. He said he's not gonna be too crazy on the radio with us today, but it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I mean, we have a disclaimer at the top of the show for a reason, but none of that today is the clean Tony, PG Tony, you know?
Absolutely.
But Paul, seriously, man, thank you so much for having me on, man. Like, you know, we always bump into each other at E3 and stuff, you know, so it's always good to, but this time we actually like, you know, we're like, hey, let's actually get together and do something, you know, so this is fantastic, especially with guys like us in this industry. It's not a lot of handicapped guys out there, you know what I'm saying? So we got to get together and work, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. Tony's part of my wheelchair brotherhood. Yes, we are.
See the handles, you know?
Yep, got the handles. Yes, that's how we do. That's how we roll. Yeah, we don't let nothing stop us. And Tony, in this industry of gaming and everything that's going on, did you ever see gaming to where it's going to be today? Did you ever experience or think about in your wildest dreams that gaming is going to be where it is today?
Man, I'm glad you asked that question because, you know, obviously I'm not like super old school like that, but I've been gaming since the mid 80s, you know what I'm saying? And to me, you see, in the back of my mind, it's still that little hobby that me and my buddies engage with, right? But then, you know, you see the reality of it, you know, it's like billion-dollar industry, you know, it's, you know, everywhere basically. It's just become like a really, really big part of society. And I never really thought about it like that, but at the same time, in my heart is still like a geek thing, you know, so I never lose sight of that. But at the same time, when I really step outside myself and, you know, my close circle and see what gaming has, you know, accomplished, it's like, wow, this is pretty incredible.
You know, and a lot of people, you know, always ask me about, you know, the career that I chose, and they're like, hey, you have a lot of fun out there. I mean, it's cool, you know, the things that we do out there, cover different events, but there's also kind of a dark side to it too.
Yeah.
You know, drama and all that other stuff. And especially when it comes to trying to interview people and talk to them, because sometimes you have to turn people into a hostile witness when you interview them sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, it happens, man. But, you know, I mean, to me, the hardest part of that is just getting them to the interview, because unless you're like IGN or one of those big guys, man, let's just be honest, they're not going to pay attention to you, you know? So you got to do, it's like incremental. You got to just start small, you know, with some of the smaller guys who are more than willing to talk to you and then kind of work your way up, you know? Like, yes, we have a lot of fun with this industry and all that, but at the same time, it's a lot of work too. And you only really make it if you like really hustle your butt off, you know?
That is so true. And, you know, let's talk about that for a minute when it comes to interviewing somebody and the fact that now social media basically gives a lot of people cred out there, you know, because I look at your social media numbers, YouTube numbers, the Throwdown Show, and you guys have quite a number of people who check out the show. And that leads to now freelancers, you know, in the industry. What they can do is they can show their cred now and say, look how many people I got subscribing to my channel. Look how many people I got watching now. Does that make it easier to get interviews with folks out there?
I mean, like for me personally, since I've been doing this for a while, it's not that hard to get interviews with certain people and stuff. I just be like, hey, I work for this outlet. We want to interview you, and it goes like that. But going off of what you said about these independent guys doing it, I'm pretty sure you notice this too. You notice how E3 now, a lot more YouTube guys there, a lot more podcasters than it used to be. It seems to me like E3 is becoming more of a thing for like just the regular folks, because it's. I actually was joking with my friends about this. Like, hey, guys like us, traditional media, we're kind of becoming dinosaurs because these other guys are really taking the ball there. But as far as interviews goes, I don't have too much of a problem getting I guess lower or mid-level guys. It's like I'm not going to be getting Aaron Greenberg anytime soon. But at the same time, if I hustle enough, I'm pretty sure I could do it too. So the avenues are still there. It's just a matter of who you know and how you approach them.
You bring up a very good point because, and I respect everybody's hustle out there, when it comes to this industry because it's hard, but sometimes, you look at some of the freelancers out there who haven't paid the dues like you and I have,
Yeah.
cutting our teeth and everything. And they want to stick their chest out and be like, well, I'm this and that. I'm like, now hold on, little youngster. Let me tell you something. It takes a lot of grit. And you got to have the love of the game to stay in the game for a long time. Are you in it for just a flash in the pants, or are you just in it for the long run? And you can really tell what a person's hustle is really dominated by. Do they really want to be in this industry, or they just want to show their friends, hey, check it out. I'm at E3. I'm doing all these videos. Yeah, check me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally feel you, man, because you see a lot of that. It's like, it seems like, not a lot, but there's some guys, they come in here purely for the swag and all that. It's like, come on, son, you can't be coming in here just for that. Like, you got to come in here for two reasons. One, because you love it, and two, because you want to provide a different perspective to people. You can't just be coming in there and just be greedy about it, And then going off of what you said, it's like, okay, you see that kind of, I guess, arrogance from some of the up-and-comers, but at the same time, you also see it from the guys who've been around for 15 years. And my thing is like, listen, dude, I don't care how long you've been doing it. You always got to be humble no matter what, I'm not going to name any names, but I remember seeing one guy, he's like, do you know who I am? And he couldn't get to the front line. He's like, do you know who I am? It's like, yeah, you're a guy. Get on the line like everybody else, son. Get out of here, So even if you make it, you got to be humble, man. Like, that's the one thing about me, too. It's like, I haven't been doing this as long as other people. I've been doing it for 4 years, but I never forget, where I started because even though I've been doing it, professionally for 4 years, I've really been writing about games for almost 7 years now, So the hustle's there. And I always remember that being that dude writing on a blog, I'll never forget that. I don't care how big I get, I'll always be that guy. I try to keep, grounded, because a lot of these guys, they lose perspective and it's like, you can't be doing that. And it's even worse, like you said, when you're you haven't paid your dues, how are you going to be acting arrogant like that when nobody knows you like that, man?
Tell me about it. And you know what? And it's how you treat people, how you treat the PR people. It was funny at E3, I was in the hallway coming out from the bathroom. And this one girl came up to me. She's like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, you look so familiar, but it just wasn't computing. And she ended up being with Activision. And a few years ago, I was like, I checked out some of the games. She's like, hey, did you want to see the new Call? I was like, well, I didn't get the media invite, but it's cool. Say, no, come on in. Let me take you in. And it's like I guess what do you call it? When you make relationships, the relationships out there that you make, you really got to stay humble. And I'm glad you said that, man, because so many people, out there, they lack humility when it comes to this game. And I'm like, if you get on people's nerve enough, you can blacklist yourself and then you're done.
Yeah, well, we've seen that with big sites, I mean, I will name them because it's public. That happened with Kotaku. They were, leaking stuff they weren't supposed to, and look what happened. And Jim Sterling, EA's not giving up stuff because he was trashing their games. It's like, okay, they don't mind if you give an honest opinion about a game, but you got to be humble about it and fair about it. When you start burning bridges, these guys remember that stuff, And I've had, I'm glad you bring up that story about the girl from Activision because I've had that happen to me a bunch of times with PR people. I go to events, I talk to them, and I'm not like, hey, I don't treat them like they're just like a robot or something. Absolutely. I treat them like an actual person, and they remember that. So when they see me later on, when they've moved up, it's like, hey, Tony, man, I got a spot for you right here, And it's not because I'm in a wheelchair or anything. It's because they know I'm a good guy and I'm good for it, And I treat them right,
No, well said, my friend. Well said. Hey, so what's going on in the gaming world? What's the latest happening?
All right. Well, right now, this is the as I call it, the time of the annual summer drought, right?
Right.
There's not really much going on with gaming, right? Like right now, this is post E3, right? We're still kind of recovering from that. So right now, there's not really going to be any more game releases until I'm guessing the end of August, right? I
Yes.
mean, that's what I'm waiting for. So this is, to me, it's always, because people always like, oh, there's other places. Like, there's been so much stuff that's been released throughout the year. This is the perfect time to catch up.
Absolutely.
So that's what's going on. I mean, there's no real big media thing right now. But gaming, this is like, come on, people. This is when you have your time to actually get in there and start doing your thing. So that's what's really going on right now. I mean, like, I know we got events like Gamescom or whatever coming up soon, but that's still a long ways off,
Absolutely. Well, let me get your take on this right here. What did you think about this when we were at the Sony PlayStation press conference? What did you think about the PlayStation VR and the little demo we saw of Battlefront?
Oh, I mean, okay, VR. I've tried VR, right? But I'm still not 100% sold on it because
It's hard for us. It's hard for us in a wheelchair. VR.
Yeah, I'm actually you're not going to say too much, but I'm actually writing an article about that. It's like VR experiences with a person in a wheelchair, little different than it is for everybody else. You know. But I'm not even speaking about it as a person in a wheelchair. I'm just speaking about it as a gamer. It's like I'm used to, being in front of my TV with a controller in my hand playing, like putting on all this stuff, like, looking like that. It's like
it looked like Jordy LaForge, right?
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. I remember Lawnmower Man. I know where this goes.
Right.
but I'm not knocking the technology because I think they finally got it right, or at least they're in the right direction. You remember the Virtual Boy, right? From back in the old days,
absolutely.
Man? We ain't in that, but at the same time, I still feel it's like, okay, I need that one extra thing to really put me over the edge. I've played a bunch of demos and stuff. It's like, it's cool, but it's still a gimmick to me. I don't want to sound too like negative about it, but that's just how it is,
Well, you hit it right on the head because, I was able to check out a VR demo at it was a VR event over in LA at E3. And one of the guys, developers, he put me in VR. He's like, okay, go over there and touch this. And I'm like, dude, I have an electronic wheelchair. I can't see what's going on, and it's just not, it was just wasn't, really accessible for me. But like you said, take the disabled element out of it. Are we going to get to the point where I had a good conversation with a great friend of mine, Steve Koenig from the Consumer Technology Association. We were talking about VR at the Consumer Electronics Show. And I said, are we ever going to get to the point where it's like Total Recall, when you don't want to come out of the VR world and when you want to stay in the VR world? Well, what's your take on that?
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Again, I'm going to keep it clean, right? But I'm pretty sure you've seen some of the VR porn stuff, right? Now, imagine if you live in a virtual world where you kind of have all your human bodily functions like met,
Right.
Why would you want to leave the house? I'll be honest, man. Like, I don't think that's something, that we should make light of. I think it's an actual possibility because there's a lot of people out there that are, I guess, not very socially adjusted, right? Again, I'm parsing my words here, but they're not very socially adjusted. So VR could be like, okay, all this stuff is an escape, right? But it should come with the stipulation, like, okay, it's an escape, but you got to get back to reality at the end of the day. Some people will be like, reality, I'm not dealing with that nonsense. This is me now, So that's yeah. So I think that is a very real danger. So, but the thing is, going on that, how do we like make people aware that it's not healthy to be doing that all the time? You know? Like, how do you do that? Same thing with video games. Like, you shouldn't be playing video games all day. You shouldn't be like in a virtual world all day either. So how do you make people aware of that? I think I just answered my own question. I don't think I like the answer. I think we're going to be aware of it when something really bad happens to somebody. How do we know we shouldn't be playing MMOs all day for 24 hours? Because unfortunately, what happened to those kids in Korea, they died in a cafe, So hopefully we don't have to get to that point where somebody dies in virtual reality because they were neglecting, whatever they needed to do in real life. But who knows, man? But yeah, I'm glad you bring that up because I think that is an actual real concern for, not a lot of people, but some people out there.
That's true. And if you can, for some of our viewers and listeners out there who maybe didn't hear about what happened in Korea with the MMOs, give us a little take on that.
Okay, this happened a few years ago, but basically they have internet cafes over there, right? Mm-hmm. And these kids would go and just literally stay parked in front of a kiosk for like 48 hours or something, nonstop, just playing, and they would keel over and die. Why? Because they didn't go to the bathroom, they didn't eat, they were all hunched over in a really bad position.
Wow.
I don't know if you heard about it, but it's real, man.
Now, it makes a lot of sense. I remember seeing an episode of CSI, and it was a guy who was a gamer and ended up getting a pulmonary embolism, a blood clot,
Yeah.
and he died from it, and it's like, and those are real concerns that we have when it comes to gaming, because let's face it, when we were younger, when we gamed, moms and pops didn't want us in front of that screen for so many hours, we got like so many hours we could play. Then we had to go outside and do some chores and everything. But now with the younger generation, I think this is something we really need to preach to them. Like, hey, gaming is a good outlet. We have a lot of fun, but you want to have it with balance.
Yeah, exactly. And now things are getting a little crazier now with the kids because they watch other people play games on YouTube, right? They're spending hours doing that. So it's like, come on, man. Like, okay, first of all, I mean, that's a whole other topic, but it's like, first of all, you should be playing your own games, and then at the same time, don't play them for too long. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been known to play games for a long time, but that's when I know for a fact I have nothing lined up. And even during that, it's like if I'm hungry, I'm gonna stop and get something to eat. Go to the bathroom or something. Typical bodily function that you need to be taken care of, man. I mean, I know it sounds weird that people just neglect that stuff, but when you get into a game like that, for some people, it's serious. So I think VR could actually compound that even further.
I remember must have been like over 11 years ago, and my wife bought me the new Madden. And I'm telling you, man, she left for work at 7:30. She got home at 10:30 at night. I was still on that game. You know what I mean? And that,
yeah, man.
And that's when I knew. I said, okay, I need to set some parameters up, when it comes to gaming, just to, have some normalcy in my life.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, bro, it's all about balance, man. You can't just be spending all that time. Like, granted, if you do have the time, and it doesn't impact your health, go for it. But at the same time, yeah, you gotta balance all that stuff out. And then to me, it's like, doesn't gaming isn't it better when you kind of don't, what is it, dose it out throughout the day?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's like instead of like eating like 5 burgers in one shot, it's like space them out during the week. It'll taste better that way.
See, Tony got jokes right now because he saw me at the PlayStation press conference because they fed us well. Tony, you saw all those burgers I ate, right? So that's why you got jokes like that, man.
No, man. Hey, listen, I did the same thing too, bro. So I'm not blaming anybody here. And it's okay. In that case, it was free. We kind of overindulged a little.
Yes,
bit,
we did.
But it's all good.
Yeah, I think next time they need to get some gin or something, to put with that juice and not the wine. They had wine.
That really warm wine. It's like, no, you can't be having wine when it's like, was it 80 degrees out?
Tell me about it, man. I could have went to the liquor store and got some 8-ball. You know what I mean? We could have been fine. But you know what? Tony, during the PlayStation press conference, the crowd kind of went wild when this guy reared his head right here. And Hideo Kojima, it was a breakup with him and was it Konami? They had a breakup in December, and everybody was wondering, hey, what is he going to do now? What is he going to do now? Well, what did you think of the direction where Hideo Kojima is going, and also where Konami is going to go now?
Okay, whoa. Where to start, man? There's so much to cover here. We've talked about this around many times, but yeah, I mean, this was, so for some people, this was a bit of a shock. And though it was shocking, I kind of saw it coming for a few years because Kojima had always, not flat out said it, but he's always expressed some sort of frustration with Konami because they didn't let him do exactly what he wanted. I mean, this guy has been, every Metal Gear that's come out, he's like, this is my last Metal Gear. This is my last Metal Gear. What happens? Konami's like, no, it's not your last Metal Gear. You're going to make another one, So I'm pretty sure he wanted to move on. Some of the themes, he wanted to put into the latest game, Metal Gear Solid 5. He wasn't able to because they were too risque for Konami. So I kind of saw all this coming, right? So, going back to what happened at E3, I was very, very happy to see him because I'm a big fan of Hideo Kojima. I think he's one of the greatest game developers out there because he's just, I don't understand how this man's mind works. And that's part of the allure. Like when you play his games, like, where is this coming from? And you try to dissect it and stuff, but there's some real talent behind it. It's not just some guy throwing random stuff just for the sake of it, right? So this E3 was special about seeing him on that stage was because if you remember, Kojima had always gone to E3 every single year, except last year because Konami forbid him to actually go. So this was like a good closer to all that drama that happened last year, right? Wondering what's going to happen with Kojima. And now we know he's going to be making a game for Sony. And it's going to be another weird, crazy game. But it should be really good because it's from the mind of Kojima, you know. But yeah, that was a great. I lost my mind when that happened, man.
I did too, because in the beginning of that press conference too, with the opera singers and
Yeah.
going into God of War, we're like, wow, this is like, and they really showed me something. Now, I heard a rumor. You can let me know if it's true or not. Now,
Uh-oh.
is it true that you interviewed Hideo Kojima or trying to interview him? Tell me about that rumor.
Okay, so it was an interview. So this is what happened because I wanted to meet Kojima for years, obviously, right? I almost did it in 2014, right? I'm not going to get into that, but I missed my chance out at E3. So at this E3, when I saw him in the halls, I was like, no, Tony, you're not missing this, man. So he was with his entourage, right? He had like 10 people with him. And they were moving pretty quickly, right? So I'm in a wheelchair. I'm pretty fast, but these dudes were faster than me. I'm like, whoa, so I rushed over there and I saw that they went into the room that the concourse where they had all the VR stuff, right? Talking about VR. And he goes into the HTC Vive room, and I'm like, okay, I got 3 hours until my next appointment. I'm gonna park my butt right here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna wait for this man, So, but I want to do a little bit professionally, So I talked to his producer, and I'm like, hey, would it be okay if I get a picture of Mr. Kojima when he's done? He's like, yeah, when he's done, no problem, just hang out, So Kojima came out. Unfortunately, I couldn't talk to him because of the language barrier, right? So I took a quick picture with him, and then after that, what was cool is his people interviewed me. I can't say too much because I'm kind of under embargo, but they interviewed me for something, related to the game. I'm like, oh, that's pretty dope, that I got to do that. My buddy was there, he had met Kojima before, so it was pretty cool for both of us to, get to meet him, me for the first time, obviously, because he's like an idol of mine. So, but it's just funny. It's like I went on a sneaking mission, put the box over me and just went after this man.
Wow, that is so cool, man. So how was it?
Yeah, it was cool, man. Like I don't really get wrapped up in emotion like that,
Right.
but it was just really satisfying to get a picture with this man, and he was all cool because he's really about the fans,
Right.
So it was just really nice to meet him, and hopefully, I'll get to properly interview him one day. I'm fingers crossed.
No, I hear you, my friend. Hey, so why don't you tell our viewers and our listeners about the YouTube show and how they can follow you and check out some of your writings? What's the best way they can contact with you?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have. Actually, it's right there. My Twitter. If you go to my Twitter at Romudeth ROMUDETH, you'll find links to everything. Because right now, my day job, and it's so cool, Paul. Because again, since I met you, I was doing it for free, right? Because of the love. Now I'm actually getting paid for it. It's just a beautiful thing. So I'm a freelance writer for Geek.com. That's my day job. It's again still bugging me out that I could say that.
Oh yeah.
I also do some stuff for PC Mag, and I still, do some stuff for the Coalition too. My independent site. That's where I, have the Throwdown. But yeah, we're on YouTube. Throwdown's actually we're going to celebrate our 4th year. In September. The show's been going on for that long, but we actually relaunched it a couple of years ago. And it's been doing really well, man, especially lately. People like the stuff we talk about because the things like, yeah, we get wild on the show, but everything is factual. We don't make up anything. There's a lot of shows out there that put a lot of misinformation. We don't do that on our show. And we specifically call people out, fanboys or developers. Like, if you're doing something wrong that's not right, we're going to catch you on it, and just try to bring some perspective, but at the same time, keep it entertaining for the fans. And yeah, we're on YouTube. We're on SoundCloud, iTunes. We're pretty much everywhere, man. If you want some really raw, gaming insight, check us out, please.
And just remember, it's for mature audiences only.
Yes.
when you check it out. So no, but Tony, it's been cool catching up with you, my friend. And anything else out there in the gaming sphere that you want to bring out to the viewer or the listener out there?
I mean, my message is simple. It's like, don't worry about what's going on, when it comes to other platforms or some people knocking gaming. Just play your games and have fun. This is, at the end of the day, you're supposed to enjoy gaming, right? If you spend more time on the internet complaining about games, actually playing them, you might be doing something wrong. So please, I implore you, go out there, buy games, rent games, however you can get games, get them, play them, and enjoy them. And please, get on, any social media and tell people, what games you like, why you love gaming so much and why it's important to you. That's the number one thing I always say to everybody. Please play your games, enjoy, and share your love to, of them to the world.
Now, my guy back at home base, Sean, he's a big gamer too, and he loves PC gaming. So, in your opinion, PC gaming or console gaming?
Okay,
What's the
it's very
best out
interesting
there?
you asked me that.
Yeah,
If you were to
Sean, we're gonna mix it up, Sean. So go ahead, tell him what
Yeah,
up,
all
Tony.
right. Shout out to Sean. If you were to ask me this last year, I would have unequivocally said console gaming, right? But now your boy, since he has a little bit of bread, got himself a good PC. So I'm messing around with that, But I'm gonna give the diplomatic answer. Obviously, whatever you prefer. If you want things simple, you go for a console because all you got to do is just buy a game, pop it in, press start, bam, you're good to go. If you want to really tweak your games out and stuff, you want the best possible graphics, and you just overall just like having more control, you go for PC gaming. It's really what you choose. Really is no better choice now. It's like there's so many avenues for you to play. It's like consoles, PC. I was gonna say mobile too, but I'll be honest, I'm not really a fan of mobile. Because of the touch screens and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, if you're a gamer that just no hassle, you go to consoles. If you want a little more control, you go for PC.
Awesome. So Sean, there you have it. Tony agrees with you. I guess I'm gonna have to come over to the dark side too, because I used to PC game a long time ago before the consoles really got a lot of traction, but
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to step my game up. Sean, you can buy me a new gaming because he has the Alienware one, man. So he talks about how good that is. So
See, man, no, you got to do is you got to build. Either you build it yourself or you get somebody to build it for you because Alienware is very expensive, man. Like my joint is better than an Alienware and it costs way less.
see, none of us have the big dollars like Sean. Sean has the big dollars. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's why. But it's like, dude, don't get an Alienware, man. Like those guys, they buy the cheap. I'm just being real. They buy the cheapest parts for these machines. Get it something better, And Sean, you should know better too, bro.
There you go.
Calling you out, man.
There you go. The Dominican Dominator himself, Tony Polanco, joining me on the Tech Zone. Tony, we're going to have you back again, my friend, and catch up on what's going on in the gaming news. Don't forget to check him out. His information is on the screen right now. And if you listen to the radio, the Throwdown Show, you can Google that, check that out, and give your Twitter out one more time.
Tony. At Romudeth, ROMUDETH. Again, check that out. I have links to all my stuff.
Sounds good. All right, the great Tony Polanco. Take care, bro.
All right, thanks a lot, man. Peace.
My man from New York, Tony Polanco. Yes, great interview. When we get back on the Tech Zone, we'll talk more tech, have a lot of fun here on the show. So don't go nowhere. We'll be right back after these messages.
I'm from New York, and I know. This is Uchi the Wally, your monologues getting tired. Now it's time to ride. Print this, you fired. You no longer desire to take off them silly chains, put back on your wire. I'm on fire, highly dipped in octane. Let East Coast, let West Coast, and Rule gon' bring.